I am not a financial advisor, and I never give financial advice on this channel. 100% of this content is for entertainment purposes only. Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. It's Lane here with MetaShackle. This isn't going to be a super long video. I just wanted to go over a couple charts, mainly the XRP BTC and the XRP ETH charts. Now historically, as price appreciates within crypto, generally we see it led by Bitcoin. Then after Bitcoin goes on a run, money bleeds from Bitcoin into Ethereum. Then Ethereum generally goes on a nice run. Then eventually the money bleeds out of Ethereum and spills into altcoins, to which we then see a nice alt season. Of course, this season hasn't been anything like what we've seen in the past so far, not to mention the fact that it started during what I like to call the Trump election pump. But I wanted to show you some interesting things on these charts, just to get you thinking about it. So let's get into the charts. So taking a look at the XRP BTC chart, I've added a number 11 right here to mark the top end of this chart. I'm actually using the regular or the linear chart rather than the logarithmic because I think it just displays better for what I'm trying to convey here. This chart is bottomed out by the -2. I've placed the equilibrium zone right here in this fair value gap in this area. Generally, this would be a lot higher and kind of more towards the center. But as you can see, this area of the chart is remaining well below this area, mainly because of the SEC versus Ripple case that was filed in December 22nd, 2022, which has essentially held price below this point ever since. Therefore, I decided the best fit was to use this fair value gap right here. Now, if you take a look at this chart, we can see some very interesting things. This was the previous month before the SEC filed their lawsuit against Ripple. If you zoom into the chart and take a look at it, you can see that the high for the month of November 2020 came right up to the equilibrium line, which is the green line within the equilibrium zone. Then the next month, price slid over, appreciated just a little tiny bit, which I think if you look at this tells you that people knew what was coming. Then, once it was announced that the SEC was coming after Ripple, price collapsed. If you look at the charts here, there's only been one time where we have gone back into the equilibrium zone at all, and that was right here in the month of May. Going in for a short time, bumping off of the 0.25 line, and then falling back into this lower zone. Since the Trump pump in November, right here, we broke out, crossing over the -1, and moving up, we bumped for the first time since this point right here, the equilibrium zone, just tacking the bottom right here. So we came very close to the point that we were in the month of December when the SEC versus Ripple case was filed. Now we are kind of lingering around down here in this area waiting to make a decision. But another thing to pay attention to is the price of XRP has not been above the center line in the Gaussian channel since this point right here, going all the way back into June 2019. Very interesting. Also notice when looking at the chart how it's bulged up right here, building pressure, which may be indicative of something coming. And if you followed my videos, you know that I do believe in the month of May we are going to see something absolutely incredible. The beginning of the biggest part of this breakout that we have seen thus far. So now moving over to the XRP versus Ethereum chart, you can see a very similar pattern has formed here. Now this one worked out just a little bit different. This is also on the linear or the regular chart, as I think it also conveys a much better picture of what I'm trying to convey here. I've also added the number 11 on this chart to measure this upper range here so that this coalesces with the chart that we just looked at, being the XRP versus BTC chart. So as you can see down here, at the time that the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit was filed, that it was trading up in this range here, setting this high right here in November, the month before the suit was filed. Once the suit was filed, price did the same thing on this chart, collapsed, coming below where I've marked the equilibrium zone, trading down in this area, popping through one time, coming up to the positive 2 line right here, then trading below for basically the rest of the time, even though it made some attempts penetrating into the equilibrium zone. But for the most part, it was holding above the -1 and below the equilibrium line, which is the green line within the equilibrium zone. Right here, once we came to the Trump pump, we had a breakout coming right through this. Now if I zoom into this, I can show you that once it broke into the equilibrium zone, it literally springed off nearly perfect off of the center of the equilibrium line. You can see what happened once a full candle formed outside and above of the equilibrium zone. Another thing that I want you to pay attention to is the high that we hit back in November was set right here. The next month is when the lawsuit was filed. We traded up to that exact same area, lightly sweeping that previous candle right here, and we have now pulled back, and seemingly it looks like we're just waiting to see exactly what is going to happen. So for the first time in quite some time, we're starting to see XRP appreciate in value against Bitcoin and against Ethereum. And we're also seeing what appears to be a cycle that is unlike anything we have seen in the past, being led out by XRP during the Trump pump rather than Bitcoin, which has never been seen. And with XRP price being suppressed going all the way back since December 22nd of 2022, it just makes sense that XRP has some catching up to do. And with the recent announcements regarding the SEC versus Ripple settlement being finalized, we also now know that the case settlement is expected to be finalized within 60 days from today, as the necessary paperwork has been prepared and is awaiting a vote by the SEC Commission, which should happen within 30 days. Once the vote is completed and the court procedures are finalized, the case will be officially and legally over. That's very strange because this news here is over a week old, which essentially 60 days from that time would put us smack dab right in the middle of the month of May. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to some of the videos I've been putting out, but isn't it interesting that the XRP breakout chart that I shared publicly back in October and have been talking about frequently since that point, which predicts the breakout coming in the month of May, perfectly lines up with that date being smack dab in the middle of the month of May, which exactly matches what this chart is predicting. I'm just saying. And if anybody would like to get a copy of this chart, all you have to do is email me at metashackle@gmail.com. Just put XRP breakout chart in the headline, and I will send you a high-definition copy absolutely free. So think about what you've seen and heard in this video. Look at those charts. When you compare XRP to Bitcoin and Ethereum, when you compare those to what we have historically seen during these cycles, yet it's not following that path for some reason. What we're about to see is no coincidence. This very chart has been predicting it for quite some time, and it formed the fair value gap in the month of December, which finalized this pattern for the countdown of the last 5 candles, moving into the 8th candle with the breakout being right here in the month of May, as I've been talking about for many, 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 many months. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps out the channel. I also have a link posted in the About/More tab if you'd like to make a donation to the channel, which certainly is not required, as I give away all of my work for free, and there will never, ever be a time where I will put my information behind a paywall. It will always be free. So thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States for America and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, under